Have you ever felt like your body was trying to tell you something, but no one else could hear it? You followed the advice, swallowed the pills, tried the diets, even smiled politely when someone handed you the latest miracle supplement with glowing reviews, and still, the ache lingers. Not always sharp, not always loud, but there like a whisper beneath your skin, reminding you something is unsettled. I remember a conversation I once had with an old Zen teacher in a quiet temple nestled among cypress trees. He was in his late 80s, had never taken a single pharmaceutical pill, and yet walked each morning with the grace of a man half his age. I asked him, "What's your secret?" He smiled, paused, and replied with a twinkle in his eye, "I listen before I treat. That's all. The body will tell you everything if you stop interrupting." That answer never left me, because maybe healing doesn't always begin in a hospital. Maybe it begins when we stop treating our bodies like broken machines and start honoring them like old friends. Maybe the medicine we've been searching for isn't something new to do, but something ancient to remember. Today, let's take a different kind of journey, not through pharmacies or procedures, but through presence, stillness, and the forgotten wisdom of the body. Together, we'll explore 5 timeless truths rooted in Buddhist teachings and human tenderness that reveal how your body can begin to heal without a single prescription. So, let's breathe, let's set everything else down, and let's begin not by trying harder, but by softening into what's already here. Are you ready? Part 1. Your body doesn't need fixing. It needs to be heard. There's something sacred about the way the body speaks, soft, persistent, and often inconvenient. Not in the language of words, but through a quiet lexicon of tension, fatigue, tightness, and pain. The trouble is, we've forgotten how to listen. Have you ever noticed how your lower back throbs more after an argument with someone you love, or how your stomach twists right before an uncomfortable conversation? We're quick to blame bad posture or what we ate for lunch, but beneath the surface, something deeper may be unfolding. What if your body wasn't malfunctioning, but simply speaking in the only way it knows how? In the Zen tradition, there's a gentle refusal to rush towards solutions. Instead of trying to fix things, we are taught to listen, to sit, to bow to what is present. Because, as the Buddha said, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. What he meant was this: pain may visit our bodies, but it is the mind's resistance, the labeling, the judgment, the urge to push it away, that transforms pain into suffering. I once guided a retreat where a woman in her 70s came with chronic migraines she'd battled for years. She had tried everything: acupuncture, medications, herbal remedies, and even spiritual rituals. Nothing truly worked. During one silent afternoon, she sat beneath an old pine tree and simply allowed herself to feel. No fixing, no analyzing, just the breath and the pounding in her head. She cried gently, like rain. Later she told me it was the first time she had allowed herself to grieve her daughter, who had passed 30 years before, but was never truly mourned. Her migraines didn't vanish overnight, but they softened. They began to arrive less like an enemy and more like a reminder, like a messenger finally thanked for delivering a long-lost letter. You see, in our culture, we are taught to treat symptoms like invaders. We want to conquer fatigue, numb out sadness, override discomfort. We declare war on our own bodies. But what if every symptom wasn't a signal of brokenness, but of truth? What if your body isn't fighting you, but fighting for you? Science is catching up to this wisdom. Research from Harvard shows that up to 90% of doctor visits are stress-related, not because stress is imaginary, but because it reshapes your nervous system, tightens your muscles, disrupts digestion, and dulls your immune response. And yet, just 10 minutes of mindful stillness each day has been shown to reverse many of those effects, not metaphorically, measurably. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly sat with your body, not to inspect it or critique it, but simply to say, "I'm here, I hear you"? We often wait until the body screams before we finally pause, but your body has been whispering for years. Imagine your body not as a problem to be solved, but as an old wise friend who's been patiently waiting for your company. A friend who holds your memories, your joys, your uncried tears. A friend who doesn't need you to fix it, but to feel with it. There's a parable from the Buddhist canon that I think about often. A monk is walking through the forest with a thorn in his foot. Another monk sees him limping and asks, "Why don't you remove the thorn?" The first monk says, "Because I was taught to overcome pain, so I walk through it." The second monk kneels, takes his foot, and removes the thorn in silence. Then he says, "Wisdom is not in pretending we are beyond pain. It is in knowing when to stop and listen." Your body is that forest path. Your pain may be the thorn, but instead of limping for years, what if you simply paused, just once, and asked, "What are you trying to show me?" So many of us walk through life trying to control our bodies like stubborn machines, demanding energy, suppressing discomfort, overriding intuition. But perhaps what we really need is not control, but compassion. Perhaps your body doesn't need more pressure, it needs more presence. Tonight before bed, I invite you to try something quiet. Find a calm place, sit down, place one hand on your chest and another on your belly. Close your eyes and simply say to yourself, "I'm listening." Don't wait for an answer, just feel what arises. Because in the silence, you may find that healing doesn't begin when you do something new. It begins when you finally stop and feel. Part 2. Stillness is the true medicine. There is a kind of medicine that doesn't come in a bottle, doesn't carry a label, and has no expiration date. It doesn't require insurance or appointments. It simply asks for your presence. That medicine is stillness. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Stillness in this noisy world, in this aching body, with this long to-do list. It almost sounds too simple to be true. And yet, some truths have lasted not because they're complex, but because they're timeless. In the Buddhist tradition, stillness is not about doing nothing. It's not laziness or apathy or checking out of life. It's an invitation to return, to become quiet enough so that what's been buried within your muscles, your memories, your breath, can begin to rise and be seen. And in that seeing, healing begins. I want to tell you a story. There was a period in my life when I felt an invisible weight pressing down on my chest every day. It wasn't exactly pain, more like a pressure that never seemed to lift. I went to doctors, had blood tests, tried breathing exercises and supplements. Everything came back normal, but nothing felt normal. One evening, I came home after a long day, too tired to distract myself. No music, no television. I just sat in a chair by the window. I wasn't trying to meditate. I wasn't even trying to relax. I just stopped. And in that stillness, without warning, a memory surfaced like a ripple in a calm lake. My father's funeral. I was 16. I had spoken at his memorial like a soldier, stoic, proud, unshaken. But that night, decades later, in the quiet of my living room, the grief finally arrived. It came gently, not like a storm, but like soft rain. I didn't sob uncontrollably. I simply wept with dignity, as if my body had finally been given permission to speak. The next morning, that pressure in my chest had loosened. It didn't disappear entirely, but it no longer screamed. It had been heard. That, it seemed, was all it ever wanted. You see, we've been taught that healing requires action. Do this, take that, fix it, push through. But the body doesn't work like a machine. It works more like a garden. You can't force a flower to bloom. You tend the soil. You give it sunlight, water, patience, and when the conditions are right, it opens. Stillness is the sunlight. It's what allows the body to stop bracing for the next blow. It tells the nervous system, you're safe now. And when that signal reaches deep enough, something ancient and wise within you starts to unwind. But we live in a world that fears stillness, a world that equates movement with value, rest with laziness, silence with absence. No wonder we feel so disconnected from ourselves. We're surrounded by noise, and the deepest parts of us are quiet. The Zen monks often say, only when the water is still can you see your own reflection. And maybe that's what your body has been waiting for. Not another program, but a pause deep enough for your true self to be heard again. There was once an elderly woman at a meditation retreat I led. She told me on the first day, I'm not good at sitting still. My knees hurt. My mind races. I don't think I belong here. I smiled and said, that's perfect. You're exactly where you need to be. On the third day, after a period of silent walking, she came to me with tears in her eyes. I remembered something she said, almost whispering. When I was a child, my mother used to brush my hair in silence every night. I hadn't thought about that in 50 years, but today, in the stillness, it came back, and I felt loved. Stillness doesn't erase our wounds. It doesn't make grief go away, but it creates space for those wounds to breathe, to soften, to move, and sometimes that's all healing needs. Room. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you allowed yourself to do nothing on purpose, not out of fatigue or avoidance, but as a sacred act of remembrance? Try this. Set a timer for just 5 minutes. No music, no screens, just sit, breathe. Notice the sounds around you. Feel the air on your skin. And when your thoughts wander, as they will, gently return to the breath. Not to escape, but to arrive. Stillness is not a place we visit once and leave behind. It's a homecoming. The more often we return, the more familiar it becomes. And in that familiar space, the body begins to trust again, to release, to restore. So the next time your body speaks through tension, tightness, or fatigue, pause. Don't rush to fix it. Sit beside it, like an old friend who just needs you there. Because stillness might just be the medicine you've been missing all along. Part 3. The emotional roots of physical pain. There's a quiet truth we rarely speak aloud, though most of us have felt it in our bones. The body remembers what the mind tries to forget. Grief unspoken, anger buried, fear denied. They don't simply vanish into thin air. They settle. They lodge themselves in our shoulders, our gut, our chest, waiting for us to be still enough, honest enough, kind enough to finally listen. The Buddha taught that what we resist persists, and in the body, this is profoundly literal. Suppressed emotions become tension. Tension becomes illness, and illness, when not met with compassion, can become a kind of silent prison, where we no longer know what hurts more, the pain itself or the loneliness of carrying it alone. I once worked with a woman named Ruth, a retired nurse in her early 60s. She had chronic pain in her right hip, the kind that flared without warning and made her wary of every step. Medical scans showed only mild inflammation, nothing that explained the level of discomfort she described. We sat together one morning during a silent retreat, and I gently asked, if your hip could speak, what would it say? She looked startled, then quiet. After a long pause, she whispered, I'm tired of holding everything together. And then, like water released from a dam, the stories came. Decades of caregiving, first her children, then her mother, then her husband who passed. Always the strong one, never allowed to crumble, never had the luxury to fall apart. Her body, it seemed, had decided to fall apart for her. That's the thing about emotions. If they don't come out in words, they come out in symptoms. Headaches that linger, sleep that won't arrive, a heart that beats too fast, too loud. The body becomes a living autobiography. Each ache a footnote, each knot a chapter, left unfinished. There's even science to support what spiritual traditions have known for centuries. Studies show that repressed emotions, especially grief, shame, and unresolved anger, are linked to chronic illnesses, autoimmune disorders, even heart disease. Your liver in Chinese medicine holds anger. Your gut holds fear. Your chest holds sorrow. These aren't poetic metaphors. They're embodied truths. In the Zen tradition, we don't bypass emotion in the name of peace. We bow to it. We invite it in like a guest who's been knocking for years. Because what we avoid, we give power. But what we welcome, we begin to transform. Let me share something personal with you. A few years ago, I entered a season of deep numbness. I wasn't sad exactly, just tired in a way that rest couldn't fix. I kept teaching, guiding, smiling, but inside, I felt like a ghost. One evening I sat down. No agenda, no journal, no healing plan. I simply sat and breathed. And out of nowhere, tears began to fall. Not dramatic sobs, not tied to any one memory. Just tears, pure and full and long overdue. I cried for 30 minutes straight. And afterwards, I didn't feel broken. I felt real, like I had stepped back into my own skin after years of being slightly beside it. So many of us have been trained to smile through pain, to be strong, to hold it together. But here's the truth. Real strength is allowing things to fall apart, quietly, without shame, like autumn leaves letting go, trusting that spring will come again. You don't have to be dramatic. You don't have to dig into every corner of your past. But you do have to feel, even just a little, because what you feel, you free. And what you free no longer needs to scream through your body to get your attention. There's a simple practice I often share. Write a letter to your body. Ask it, what have you been holding for me all these years? What have I ignored, denied, or forgotten? And then, listen. You might be surprised by what rises. Healing isn't always about adding something new. Sometimes, it's about letting go of what's been quietly hurting you from within. And often, the most compassionate thing you can do is give yourself permission to feel, without fixing, analyzing, or justifying. Because in the end, your body isn't your enemy, it's your oldest companion. It has carried you through every heartbreak, every joy, every silent night of worry. And maybe now, it's simply asking you to say, thank you, I hear you. You don't have to carry it alone anymore. So tonight, instead of pushing through, numbing out, or pretending you're fine, try something softer. Place a hand over the place that aches, whether it's your hip, your heart, or somewhere deeper, and say to it, you're safe now. I'm listening. Because when the body feels heard, it begins to heal. Part 4, you're not aging. You're ripening. Let's talk about aging. Not the kind that fills magazines with promises of eternal youth, but the real, lived-in, full of stories kind, the kind that shows up in our knees, in the corners of our eyes, in the morning sigh we didn't used to make. Have you noticed how children bounce back from a fall like rubber balls, while we, seasoned, wiser, grayer, can trip on a rug and ache for a week? But the deeper question isn't just what's happening in our bodies, it's what's happening in our minds. Because what if the true weight of aging doesn't come from the body, but from the story we attach to it. Buddhist philosophy teaches that suffering doesn't arise from what happens, it arises from our resistance to what is. We hurt most, not because our knees creak, but because we believe they shouldn't. We grieve not just the passage of time, but the image of who we think we should still be. There's a beautiful truth hiding in the leaves of autumn. When a tree sheds, it doesn't panic. It doesn't fight to keep its summer glory. It lets go with grace. It trusts the process, and in letting go, it makes room for what's next. But in our modern world, we've been conditioned to resist that process, to fight it, to inject, cover, dye, filter, mask, until aging feels more like a disease than a natural unfolding. And that resistance, it doesn't just affect our mood, it affects our biology. In a remarkable study from Yale, researchers found that adults with positive views of aging lived an average of 7.5 years longer than the impact of quitting smoking, longer than exercising or eating vegetables. It turns out, the body listens to what the mind believes. If we wake up each day thinking, "I'm falling apart," the body quietly obeys. But if we say, "I'm ripening," something entirely different begins to grow. I once met a woman named Marian at a small temple in the mountains of Oregon. She was 78, walked with a cane, and had arthritis in her hands, so bad she struggled to hold her teacup. But there was a glow about her, something unnameable. People would sit near her just to soak in her stillness. I asked her, "What's your secret?" She laughed and said, "I stopped believing I was old. The body may ache, but I still say thank you. Every morning I wake up, breathing." That wasn't denial. She had pain, she had loss, but she didn't let her soul shrink with her skin, and that made all the difference. What hurts most as we age isn't always physical. It's the feeling of being invisible, of no longer being needed, of watching your reflection change while your inner world still feels vibrant and full. It's the ache of being seen only for the years you've lived, not the life you still carry. But here's the good news, that pain isn't permanent, because when we reconnect to purpose, the body responds. Studies show that even small roles, volunteering, mentoring, planting a garden, activate brain regions that reduce pain, improve sleep, and extend life. Not because these actions are magical, but because they restore meaning. And meaning, my friend, is the most powerful medicine of all. You are not a burden. You are not past your prime. You are not less than. You are ripening. And ripening is sacred. Think of fruit. When it's young, it's firm, shiny, often bitter. But when it ripens, it softens, it sweetens, it deepens, it becomes nourishing. That's what your soul is doing. It's becoming nourishment for others and for you. Of course, let's be honest. Ripening doesn't mean we love every wrinkle, every groan, every new mystery pain that shows up for no reason. Some mornings do feel like a game of what new sound will my body make today. But even that can become part of the humor, part of the grace. The key is not to resist aging, but to become intimate with it. To ask, what parts of me are growing clearer, more essential, more rooted? What have I let go of that no longer serves me? You see, the older we get, the closer we move, not to the end, but to the essence. The fluff falls away, the noise quiets. What matters most comes forward. So if you've been looking in the mirror lately and seeing loss, I invite you to try something different tonight. Look again and see clarity. See presence. See the face of someone who has lived, whose every line tells a story, whose body may be slower, but whose heart is deeper. And if there's a belief you've inherited about aging, something like "I'm too old" or "it's too late," write it down, then burn it, or bury it, or simply let it float away like a leaf in autumn and replace it with something gentle. Something like, "Every year I grow wiser, softer, and more connected to what truly matters." Because in the end, aging is not about decay, it's about distillation. It's about becoming more you than you've ever been. And that is a beautiful thing. Part 5. The power of purpose, presence, and permission to feel. Let's pause here and breathe together. Close your eyes for just a moment and feel the rhythm of your own life moving quietly inside you, your breath, your heartbeat, the soft hum beneath it all. That is your aliveness. And it doesn't need to be loud to be real. Now I want to speak to something that might feel tender, especially in this season of life. It's this quiet question that begins to whisper more frequently as we age. Why am I still here? When the roles change, when the children are grown, when the calendar no longer demands our every hour, what remains? The Buddha spoke of right livelihood, not just as the way we earn a living, but the energy behind what we offer to life. Purpose, in this sense, isn't a career or an accomplishment. It's a pulse, a reason to rise, a sense that something, even something small, still needs you. Because here's the truth. People don't just suffer from illness, they suffer from hopelessness, from feeling unseen, from forgetting why they want to live in the first place. And when that purpose dims, even the strongest body begins to wither. But with purpose, even a tired body finds new strength. Let me tell you about someone I once met at a mindfulness gathering in Santa Fe. His name was Frank. He was 92 years old, legally blind, and still led morning meditation circles 3 days a week at his local senior center. When I asked him why he still woke up so early to teach, he tapped his cane, smiled, and said, "Because teaching is why my legs still work." He wasn't being metaphorical. His purpose had woven itself into his body, and science backs this up. A study from the Rush Alzheimer's Disease Center found that seniors with a strong sense of purpose were over 2 times less likely to develop cognitive decline. Another study showed those with high life purpose had lower rates of chronic illness and even lived longer. Not because purpose is magic, but because it gives the body a reason to stay. But here's the catch. Purpose doesn't have to be grand. You don't need to write a book, start a non-profit, or launch a second career. Sometimes purpose looks like teaching your granddaughter how to make pie crust, or calling a friend each Tuesday morning, or growing tomatoes in your back garden. The lotus, after all, doesn't bloom from perfect soil, it rises from the mud. And yet purpose alone isn't enough. To truly nourish your being, you also need presence, the deep sacred practice of actually showing up for your own life. Not just existing, but inhabiting your moments. In Zen we say that the present moment isn't a bridge to something better. It is the destination, and it's healing in a way no medicine ever could be. A Harvard study found that people spend nearly half their waking hours thinking about something other than what they're doing. And that wandering mind, it's directly linked to unhappiness. But even 10 minutes of mindfulness a day, washing dishes with attention, sipping tea without distraction, walking while truly feeling your steps, can lower stress hormones, improve immune function, and increase brain matter in areas connected to memory and emotional regulation. And finally, to bring all of this together, we return to something we touched before, but must now truly embrace: permission to feel. Because none of this, purpose, presence, stillness, can flourish in a heart that's locked down. Healing isn't only about calming the mind or eating the right food. It's about creating space in the soul. And for that, we need to feel what has long been buried. There's a Zen teaching that says, you cannot fill a cup that is already full, and many of us walk through life with full hearts, full of unspoken goodbyes, ungrieved losses, unnamed fears. Until we make space, nothing new can grow. So tonight, write a letter to your body, not as a ritual, not as a task, but as an offering. Ask it, what have you held for me without thanks? What have you carried without rest? Then listen. You may cry, you may laugh, you may feel nothing at all at first. That's okay. The body is patient. It will respond when it feels safe. Because, here's the deeper truth. Your healing isn't about chasing the next fix. It's about returning to yourself, allowing what's already wise within you to lead the way. You are not too late. You are not too far gone. And you are not done. If you are breathing, you are still becoming. Let your days be guided, not by urgency but by meaning. Let your steps be steady, not because they're fast, but because they're full. And let your healing begin not with something new to add, but with something old to feel. Because the body, the moment, the meaning, they've all been here, waiting for you to come home. Conclusion. Coming home to what was always within. So here we are, together at the end of a quiet path, and perhaps the beginning of another. Along the way, we've remembered that the body doesn't need to be fixed. It needs to be heard. That healing doesn't start when we do more, but when we begin to feel what we've long pushed aside. We've seen that stillness isn't the absence of life. It's the space where life can finally speak. That aging is not decay, but ripening. That unspoken emotions become physical burdens, and that releasing them opens the door to peace. We've rediscovered that your purpose need not be loud to be sacred, and that presence, not perfection, is what your body has been longing for. But perhaps the most important truth is this: you were never broken. You were only waiting to remember your wholeness. So now, dear listener, I gently ask you, what part of your body have you been ignoring when maybe it's only been asking for your love? What belief about aging, about pain, about worth, have you been carrying like an old coat that no longer fits? And most tenderly, when was the last time you truly paused? Not because you had to, but because your soul asked you to. There's no need to rush into answers. The healing begins the moment you dare to ask. So tonight, may you sit in a little more stillness, breathe with a little more kindness, and listen, not just with your ears, but with your presence. If this message stirred something within you, I invite you to walk this path with me. Please subscribe to Quiet Wisdom so we can keep sharing these gentle truths together. Until we meet again, may you remember that your body is not just flesh. It's a sacred place where your spirit whispers, I am still here, I am still becoming.